and we'll get started.
Hello everyone, I'm Daria, community developer for The Division 2, and it's really good to be back. Today with me is Yannick, creative director for The Division 2.
Okay, the other guy.
The other guy, yeah. I need to comment on that like really quickly. I had no idea that we just went live, and honestly, like I would never disrespect Yannick like that in public, and I'm really sorry.
In public.
In public. In private, it's not.
Have to go through every day at work.
I'm really sorry about that. And yeah, hello everyone. Now that's professional nice me is still here, and I just want to be with you through the duration of the whole stream. I will try. I just wanted this stream to be completely cringe-free. Apparently, it's not possible. Everything is ruined now, but we'll see how it goes next. I really hope that all of you had a chance to watch Ubisoft Forward this Saturday, and I really hope that you enjoyed all the nice and shiny announcements. And yeah, just let us know what you think about the show. But then again, for the Division fans specifically, this very stream would be dedicated to Season 10, and we're gonna talk more about Manhunt, we're gonna talk more about the countdown changes, about the PTS changes that followed your feedback. We'll also finally reveal the new PvE game mode that is supposed to come with Season 11. And then, of course, there are going to be a few comments about PvP, about ETF. We'll show you new Apparel Events more closely, especially the baby. And yeah, so that is what is planned for today. One important comment before we actually start a deep dive into Season 10 stuff is that we plan to take your comments and answer some of them live, but that will be done closer to the end of the stream. So we ask you not to spam the chat with the comments right now, but rather save them for like, I don't know, last 20-15 minutes. So it will be easier for our moderators and community team to pick them up from the chat. And yeah, I think we can start, unless you want to say something.
No, I was just like, yeah, I'm sure Twitch chat is going to behave and follow the rules. So.
Yeah, but I mean,
needs
guys,
to be said.
You need to behave, because there is a lot of good stuff that
be the
we
better
want to show.
person. Behave.
So okay, let's probably touch base on the PTS changes, because we had 2 phases for PTS this time around, and the last one was very insightful for us, and I think for the community as well. And we're actually very thankful for your feedback. We went through a lot of comments, especially about the Picara holster.
Yes.
And I hope that you've seen the changes that we want to implement with 16.1. And with the holster specifically, it's on our known issues board. You can just go and check in there. The link is on Twitter, so please do not hesitate to do that. And yeah, I'm just happy to confirm that instead of 20%, it's still going to have a perfect attribute of 15%,
yes.
right? And weapon damage and 1 random attribute.
Yeah, so we moved it around basically. It was on phase 1, the perfect attribute was part of the attributes and not the core attribute. But it was on top of the other attributes. So you ended up with an item that had, 1 core and 3 attributes. One of them was a 20% weapon damage. So that just was really, really powerful, as it was underlined by everyone. So we tried for PTS2 to have a different approach, where we thought, okay, let's move it on the core attribute. So that still is a stronger core attribute than anything else you can get in the game. And therefore you get your 2 random attributes on top of it. But that definitely obviously made it less interesting for a lot of people. And I think what a lot of people were attached to was, how good the initial proposal was for hybrid builds, because you could get your weapon damage bonus, but still have a core, a blue core, a yellow core. So we decided to go back to that in the final version, if I can say. But what we're doing here is it's 15% weapon damage, and it will use one of the 2 attribute space that you would normally have with random attributes. So you're going to have a normal core, blue core by default, that you can recalibrate to something else. Your 15% weapon damage, 15% weapon damage as one attribute, and then another random attribute on top of it.
Yeah, I really hope that everyone is excited about this change, because we saw a lot of comments and a lot of you were disappointed with us taking the 20% damage. So hopefully we'll receive more productive feedback with our PTS phases, and that actually proves that we're listening to you. So do not hesitate to provide us with your feedback in a nice and constructive form.
That's what PTS is for, right? So it's it is to sometimes we're going to put stuff out there that's just let's try something and see how that goes, and then from the other phase we just go the completely other way, and sometimes when we do that on purpose to have something completely OP and something probably not powerful enough to kind of try to see, okay, what's the middle? Where is it? How far is too far in both directions, and therefore where can we find the middle line?
Yeah, and if you're interested in some other changes that are going to be applied, some with 2.16 already this week, tomorrow basically. Some others would happen with 16.1, just because, as you all know, build submission takes time, and we needed to ensure that this is exactly the changes that we want to go with. So that's why they're going to happen a little bit later than the initial release. But please do check the known issues board, because among other changes, you're going to find the changes we implemented to Striker, to chest, to backpack, and to 3 pieces equipped bonus. I wouldn't list all of them. I wouldn't want to list all of them right now, so I'm not confused by a lot of values and numbers. But you can check everything on the known issues board, and as well as the information about exotic drop. We actually made a nice table that lists all the percentages of the exotic drop. So it's also on the known issues board. Please do check.
If I can comment on that.
Yeah, of
quickly,
course.
I know that the numbers look very low, and people are commenting on that. When you look at drop rates and you see something that is 0.016% or whatever. That feels really low, and it is really low. But the intention with adding chances to drop exotics on every single NPC in the game, our intention is not to have exotics rain. What we want is that random moment where you're running in the open world and you're just shooting the red bar because it's in your way. That moment you drop an exotic, that's what we're after. It's those moments where you just, out of nowhere, you get an exotic item. So it is going to make exotics a bit more generous, but not so much. But it's going to create those moments where suddenly you get one when you were not expecting to have one. You still have all your predictable sources, but still exist. We're also increasing the sources for exotic materials or exotic components elsewhere. So that's another way to get exotic components. But exotic items, we just wanted to see them appear in new spaces in other areas that you're not used to seeing exotics into, and now you just know that even if you can't play that specific content, even if you can't try to kill the bosses to get the exotics or whatever, you will always have a chance to get it randomly by playing anything in the game. So it gives you just more choice to decide to play what you want. Yeah,
that is a really nice improvement. I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope a lot of you also do. But I think if we are more or less done with what we wanted to mention about the PTS changes, if you have questions or if you want to learn more, just visit our known issues board or the forum, because we still have the patch notes for both PTS phases that would give you a very good overview of what has been changed and what is awaiting for you in 16 and 16.1 title updates. And another big thing, another big change that is coming to all of you and our PTS players know, but for the rest of the community, I think it's important for us to repeat that once again, that we're adding three new difficulties to the countdown game mode. And this is not the only change about the countdown, not the only great thing that we want to mention. It's do you want to go into the details, countermeasures, currency?
Yeah, so there's a bunch of big and small things with countdown. So yes, the first one, as you mentioned, and as we're seeing here, is the addition of more difficulties. So what we're doing is the current difficulty that you have on the game today is going to be the challenging one. So we're adding 2 easier versions and 1 harder version. The idea to try to cater to as many people as possible. And that's feedback we took from right from PTS of season 9, basically, where people were like, okay, that's fun, but it's I want to be able to play it solo. I want to be able to have a harder version and all these kind of things. So we wanted to, it was clear from the beginning that this was something that would help bring more players to the mode. So we did that. We implemented all those new difficulties. You can choose, to go in whichever difficulty you want based on, what is actually fun for you. All of them are playable up to 8 players, but you can play them solo as well. So, whoever will be the first players to complete Heroic solo, I'm sure, that's going to happen faster than we think. But it's, you can also, if you just want to run around and have an easy time to just look at the space and not be, take some nice pictures and all of that, you can just go in normal solo if you want. So that's really just to give you more choices at the end of the day. On top of that, the few things we're adding is, as you mentioned, we're making a few improvements to the economy of the game mode, and the idea being to try to bring more people to stick around until the end. Because one thing we've seen in terms of behavior is a lot of people were just joining a matchmaking, joining a session, just to kill the hunters at the beginning, because that's the most generous source of loot, and then leave as soon as the 4 initial hunters were dead. And that really wasn't our intention, especially because when you leave everybody else behind, stuck in a session where they probably cannot complete it, or they're going to be having a very hard time. So what we've done is we've increased the rewards, the currency rewards you get if you do the extraction. We've also increased, or we've decreased the drops on the first wave of hunters. So that means the first 4 that you get when you start the mode, they will drop less items, and all those items they're not dropping, we put them on the second wave hunters. So that means at the end of the day, if you complete the game mode, you will have as many loots as you would have, but we're distributing more of them towards the end. So it's really to try to get people to stick around longer and finish the mode. That's a 15-minute session, so hopefully it's not asking too much of people to get more loot. And yeah, we also, as you mentioned, you're also adding we're adding more countermeasures. I can't remember how many, to be honest, but
it was around 10 new countermeasures. I wouldn't list all of them right now, but they gonna be in the patch notes, and the patch notes will be released tomorrow once the build is live. But if you wanna take a quick look at whatever changes are coming with it, basically everything was on the PTS, so it's totally free to check it's totally fine to check the PTS patch notes. But of course, with the understanding that some gear and equipment would go through changes. But for Countdown, it's totally fine. And it's the loot quantity is not the only thing, right? We're still decided to disable the group kick, so it would not be possible for a leader to kick other players. And we know that during the PTS, some of you actually voiced your concerns that can be problematic in the future, and we hear you, but this is something that we decided to collect more feedback on. So with the Season 10 release, we hope that more players would be able to compare how it feels having this feature on and how it was in Season 10, and would let us know, because we are absolutely open to suggestions and would want you to feel comfortable playing the mod first and foremost.
Yes.
And last but not least, another great thing about Countdown, we can finally show you the trailer and release it on social media. So let's watch.
Radiation levels detected. Detonation imminent. Warning. Radiation levels detected. Detonation imminent. Warning. Full lockdown initiating.
Sound the alarm! It's the division!
Proceed with caution. Eliminate security breach. Experimental reactor unstable. EMP detonation imminent. Warning. Warning. Warning.
And we're back. There was a bit of a technical delay, but at least the
Perfect smile. Perfect holding the face, holding the look.
yeah,
That's
I
impressive.
just had no idea if it was on or not. So
That
but-
hunter shot though,
the hunter. Oh
it
yeah.
doesn't get old. Like I want that as a background actually.
As a poster.
desktop background.
Like your whole wall in the apartment just
Yeah,
have the
Let's
photo.
bring that
photo wall.
one. Yes.
Oh yeah,
That.
I really love that. Oh, I think it's the most popular GIF on our social
Mhm.
media nowadays,
Mhm.
and I can see why.
Yes.
Oh, it actually was one of my favorite things about season 9. The
Which part?
hunter. The
Ah.
hunter.
Oh, spoilers.
I mean,
Hopefully everybody played season 9. If you
I mean,
haven't,
yeah.
well,
it's your last day.
it's too late.
It's almost
your last
over.
day. You have one night. You have one
One
night to
night.
do it.
But talking about next season, talking about season 10
Yes.
and the next Manhunt, I hope that some of you had a chance to take a glimpse of the small cutout of the trailer that we showed during Forward conference, and hopefully you were able to see the new prime target, General Anderson, and a mysterious person called Natalia Sokolova. We didn't get to see her face. And this is actually not something that we want to talk about right now at all. Like I don't know what's. Please show Yannick's face. You guys cannot see his
Okay.
face, but he was sitting with it,
I was like,
very surprised.
oh, she mentioned Sokolova. Okay, we're going.
We
on.
already did. If it's not something that I'm supposed to mention, I will have a conversation with our
Okay.
narrative director later. But yeah, the cat is out of the bag.
Mhm.
There is something happening, and if you paid attention to the trailer, then probably you noticed a very distinct jacket that the General Anderson is wearing. I do not really know how many of you were able to take a hint, but I actually had no idea myself because, guys, if I'm honest, this is something that Yannick told me recently. And I was like,
Just before we went live.
is it true? So actually, the grand reveal is
Oh, you want to? Okay.
the jacket.
the jacket. No, so yeah, I mean, season 10 is about General Anderson. We're going to keep building on the events that took place in season 9, trying to navigate that without spoiling too much in case a few people still haven't finished season 9. But we're building on those events. We're going to be going after General Anderson, trying to understand a bit better what is he after, what's going on here. This is him. And his beautiful jacket. He's built a team with him, as you can see, a team of both True Sons and Black Tusk. So what is going on there? So it's going to be, exploring a bit more the relationship between him and the Black Tusk, him and trying to rebuild the True Sons. The jacket that he's wearing is, for the lore fans there, it's the Anton Ridgway jacket. So you can imagine Anderson being a power-hungry leader as soon as, Anderson, Ridgway's body was still warm. He probably just took the jacket and put it on. I was like, I'm the new leader now. But yeah, it's gonna be building on all those events. Of course, if you, I'm not gonna say that again because in case you haven't finished season 9, I don't want to say it. But yeah, you're going to see some of the faces you've seen in season 9 as well, and yeah, it's all events that keep adding to each other. And you mentioned Sokolova. We are going to be hearing a bit more from her as well, exploring all of that. So
Yeah. Hashtag
this is my
who is
spoiler-free trying to tease.
Yeah, it's very hard to talk about Manhunt without revealing too many spoilers, and actually I'm trying to leave as spoiler-free as possible. As you can imagine, that is a very hard task considering my position and my job. But still, yeah,
Stuff we have conversations to talk about story, like story coming in future seasons and all that. And Daya is sitting there, and Daya said it very clearly from the beginning. She doesn't want spoilers. She wants to experience the story in the game when it's live on the game. Which is cool, but it makes it hard for us to navigate sometimes.
I mean, there were too many spoilers already. So yeah, unfortunately.
I did see once I was talking about story and you just got up and left. And I don't know if it was because I was talking about story or because you had something else to do, but it felt like, oops, I might have said too much.
You understood my intentions super well. But no, of course it was because I didn't want any spoilers, and I mean, yeah. But I'm very interested to learn more about Natalia, because that is, I mean, General Anderson is a handsome guy. We can't deny that. So it's going to be interesting to see what the relationship is there.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just
Division tabloids right there.
I'm speaking the truth. Yeah.
No, I mean we have a cool lineup coming. We've been introducing new characters. We have a bunch of other new characters that we want to introduce. There's all the relationships between all of them. Sokolova, of course, is going to be a centerpiece there as well. So there's a lot of new things and new people and stories to explore, and a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, and you already mentioned it, but it's also a part of the trailer that we're gonna show you when we're done talking. Another character whose relationship with other characters we're going to explore is the Captain Lewis, right?
Yes.
And many Ortega. So we're gonna learn about their relationship more, and of course we're gonna learn more about the GDF and the story behind GDF and how they transformed throughout the history of the division, which is also should be super interesting for the lore fans. Okay, then, talking about trailer, I think it's about time to just take a look at it, because it's super nice. Let's do this.
Hey, Agent. Unless you need a powder shower, you might want to move your ass.
You were right. Lewis may be a problem.
I'm glad you agree, General. Watch him.
And see what he does next.
Better to lead you to the rat's nest than a rat.
Show me the baby. So yeah, this is what's waiting for you in season 10. It's gonna be available on all platforms starting tomorrow, September 13th. So yeah, mark the date. It's almost time.
It's a bonus.
And yeah, as you've seen, and probably some of you already know, especially our PTS players, that we are introducing legendary difficulty to the 2 remaining strongholds, Tidal Basin and Manning National Zoo.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's it was incomplete. We had 3 of them. We have 5 strongholds and only 3 legendary difficulties. So we wanted to add the 2 missing ones. We've tried to to play around with the spaces. We've tried to bring in some new boss gameplay and interesting mechanics. So I know that on the PTS some players already completed them. I think some players even already soloed them. We've done a bit of balancing following PTS feedback, but just go out there, go destroy them. I will watch you. I will probably not beat them myself, not solo for sure, but I will try to find people to play with me. But yeah, so now we have all strongholds available in legendary difficulty, which is nice.
Yeah, we should definitely organize some sort of event where we can join other players to be on legendary because
And be carried. Mhm.
yeah, and be carried. Yeah, that's what I meant. Scratch that. Okay then. I think it's time for our grand reveal. Not a reveal in a sense, but this is something that I mentioned before in Agent Briefing, and this is this mysterious PvE game mode that some of you may have seen in our roadmap for year 4. And finally, it's time for us to open a crack in the door and show you a small sneak peek into how it
Yeah.
looks.
So I mean, just first, this is not season 10, just to be clear. We're targeting season 11 for this one. We'll take the time we need to make sure it's good, but so far it's on target. Yeah, this is the first glimpse of the new game mode, as Daria mentioned. It is PvE game mode. The name of the mode is Descent, as a gist, basically what the game mode is, it is a roguelite. If you're used to those experiences, you're going to go in there as an agent. We're going to take away your gear. You're going to start from scratch, and you're going to have to use the mechanics that are available within the mode to become more powerful and try to take over harder and harder challenges as you progress. Once your session is over, be it because you died or because you decided to exit, and cash in on your rewards, you come back into the mode, you start from scratch all over again. You have, of course, some rewards, and you have some more permanent progression that is involved in there. But yes, expect something that's going to feel very different. It's especially the progression, because one thing that I want to mention, because I don't want people to draw that conclusion, it's not going to be like we take away your gear and you have to drop items inside, or green items and blue items and purple items. That's not the way we're going to handle that. There is no loot in this mode. We are using your talents. We are using the game talents. So it's going to be about combining talents, like looting talents, combining them and building mechanics and combinations that the game usually doesn't allow you to do. So you're going to be able to create completely new playstyles, completely new builds and combinations inside that game mode that are going to allow you to become probably super powerful, probably way more powerful than what you can reach in the game. But it's all contained in that session, and once the session ends, you start over again, and maybe you make different decisions. Every time you're completing a room, as roguelite, for those that are familiar, we give you a choice. Do you want this or that? You make a decision, you go to the next room, make a new choice. So every session is going to be different, because the choices will always be random.
Yeah, and this is basically as much as we can reveal right now, and we ask you not to bombard us with questions just because we won't be able to answer all of them, and we'll ask you to patiently wait for the next time we are more comfortable to show you more.
And some gameplay, who knows?
Yeah, and the only thing that I can mention on top of what Yannick already said, that of course I had a chance to try it myself, and I must say that it was quite challenging. It was tough, but that's what makes it really exciting and interesting.
Yeah, it is, because it's, as I said, we're taking away your gear. So especially if you're used to the game, you have to relearn how to play without your godlike, fully optimized build, right? So you're going to have to use cover again. You're going to have to use weapons that you might not be used to handling. So it's really about, what makes it hard is especially this going back to the vanilla experience, in a way, of having a character without gear. But then as you progress, you can, as I said, you can build your character, you can go back to old habits. But the first habit that a lot of us have is, when you enter into the mode, is I'm going to just face tank everything and camp the spawn closet and just shoot everything down, and that's just not going to work there. Not at the beginning anyway. So it's really about relearning how to use cover, how to use space, how to play tactical, because the mode is here to try to kill you. So yeah.
Yeah, very encouraging, very exciting. But then, is there anything in the division that does not try to kill you?
Other division agents try to kill you. So
yeah, I mean, probably maybe only the deer in the game.
How do you know?
Yeah.
How do you know they're not up to something?
Let's not give people too many things to think about. Okay, that was it. I really hope that it will be possible for us to come back with more information soon. But as I mentioned, do not expect everything to be revealed like tomorrow or in a week, because first and foremost, it's planned for season 11, and even though it's still happening this year, we have season 10 to go through.
Yes.
And it's very exciting season. Actually, that's one joke before we move to the next thing. When I myself was playing through season 9, I thought that Hidden Alliance, like, you understand what the name means when you finishing the season, when you finish it. But then I was like, what if we called it Turning Tables? Like, that would be an amazing idea for season 9 name. But maybe for season 10 as well.
Yes.
Turning tables, because tables, they have turned.
tables can turn. But season 10 is called Price of Power, and there's also a meaning behind that, which we try to, give as many hints as we can with our season names. So, Anderson is playing with fire.
But okay, I think that was it for the grand reveal, and there are also some things that, because we do not want to bore you with a lot of information. Last time we heard a lot of feedback that people want the live streams to be short and sweet, only filled with important information. So we're trying to do it just like that, just as you want it. And before we move to PvP, Apparel Events, and some other interesting reveals, there is the quick thing that I wanted to mention about ETF, because originally I wanted the ETF Foxtrot to be formed by the time of Season 10 start, but due to a lot of things and forward
due to video game development,
yeah, because we had forward, we have season 10 now, we're still processing your applications, and I want to ensure you that once we are ready to send out the letters, Hogwarts letters, to all of you to announce who's got in. We'll absolutely do that and announce it on socials, and you're gonna get the NDAs and emails. But the thing is, we received almost 3,000 applications, and it's quite a challenge to go through all of them, because we want to be thorough, we want to consider different options, and as you know, despite the popular belief that ETF is mostly packed with content creators or opinion leaders, which is partially true, and that would still be the case in the future, because of course we want people who are passionate about the game and very knowledgeable about it to be a part of ETF, but also we want to invite players who are either top of the, I wouldn't say leaderboards, but I do not really know a better word for it, who are very knowledgeable about PvP or PvE, or I don't know, both. But at the same time, we're also interested in hearing from casual players, not only in the hardcore community. So basically everyone, every play style gets a say in the ETF. And this is what makes the selection process very tough, especially when you have so many applications to choose from. And one last thing that I wanted to mention, a lot of you were concerned that we're making a decision based on the playing time alone, because that was part of the questionnaire. And I just want to make sure that playtime is important, because mostly because for us it's one of the indicator to make sure that this is actually your account, given a lot of details, because this is the easiest way for us to compare your in-game name, your submitted playtime with the actual playtime in the game, right? But at the same time, for us, knowing your in-game name or Ubisoft Connect account, we can extract almost any information about your preferences, about your playstyle, preferred activities, and all that. So please be sure that the final selection is not based on the playtime alone. especially considering that we want
No,
casual
no.
players as well, and of course they would not be able to put hundreds of hours in the game.
No, it's mostly just a confirmation, because very often we have people that are like, yeah, I have 2,000 hours playtime, and then we check the account and there's 10 hours, and then we know that it's probably not the right account, so then we need to look into that. But it's that's one of the main reasons, and it's interesting to see what's the the declared playtime compared to what the account actually has. But most of the time we're using the in-game data we get to select the profiles. That, and of course also interested in what kind of players we're talking about. But as Daria said, it's really about trying to have a really representative subset of the entire player base, not just the hardcore, not just the PvEers, not just the PvPers, not just the content creators. We want to hear from everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And a few comments for our PvP players, please.
PvP, sure nobody wants to hear about PvP. No, so we've been talking a bit about it recently, and yes, we do intend to try to work on PvP and improve it. We've already said TU16 Season 10 is not going to be the update that changes everything. One thing we are doing though with Season 10 is neutralizing shrapnel trap in PvP, and that's something that's been asked for a very long time. We've been taking our time because we really wanted to try to find other alternatives rather than just removing something from the game. We wanted to see, can we actually fix it? Fixing it to make it work the way it should work is, for plenty of stupid reasons, it is actually very, very complicated. So I don't know how long it's going to take us. I don't know if that's even what we will want to do. I'll try to look at other solutions, but what we've decided for the time being is just to basically reduce its efficiency in PvP very drastically. So it's, you shouldn't use it in PvP at this point. It's not going to be any good. And to try to take that out of the equation from PvP, and the objective for us is to try to have a conversation that is about other things, so we can then prioritize other things that need to be improved. Because for TU17 Season 11, we want to start addressing some of those issues. So with Season 11, you can expect that there's going to be more PvP changes, but mostly along the lines of bug fixing, glitches fixing, and balancing aberrations fixing as well. We know that we have some of those. So that's what we're targeting for Season 11. It's going to be like trying to address all the main issues, like the big issues, the big elephants in the room that are plaguing PvP. We're going to try to address as many of those as possible in Season 11. And then eventually, once we have something that is a bit more stable, then we can start looking at balancing, and potentially then even later on revisit the PvP experience and see what needs to be changed.
Thank you so much. I really hope that I understand that it's probably not everything that PvP community wanted to hear, but that's a very positive sign that
we're going to work on PvP. That's the promise I can make for you. It's just we're going to work on it. We're going to try to make it function. We're going to try to make Conflict and the Dark Zone function and provide a fun PvP experience. That's our priority, and we'll be taking the time we need, and we'll be working with the community and the ETF on that. And it's going to be an iterative process. As I said, we're not going to have one big PvP overhaul update. It's going to be every update we try to do small changes, and we take it one step at a time.
Yeah, and another reminder that Shrapnel Trap is also listed on our known issues board, among some other PvP initiatives that we have in mind right now, and looking for a different solution. So feel free to check it.
Just to be clear on Shrapnel Trap, by the way, and just in case that didn't come through, it is only PvP. We haven't changed the balancing in PvE, so it will still work for those of you that use it in PvE. It will still work. It just will not work in PvP.
Cool.
It will work, but it will do next to nothing.
And while I'm preparing for your questions to be looked through and answered, let's take a final look at Season 10 stuff. And it's Apparel Events. I just specifically wanted to keep it closer to the end, because I know that is probably a trigger warning, because if you're afraid of babies or dolls, probably you should not watch what we're gonna show you next. But if you already took a glimpse of the beautiful baby mask that is part of the one of the Apparel events in season 10, you're gonna be fine. That's fine. So we have 2 Apparel events in season 10. One is called Shea Paragon. You can see it on the screen right now. And yeah, the baby. So Shea Paragon, the inspiration behind it is specializations. And we're going to have 6 outfits that you will see a little bit later when the season is released. And I think this is actually something for our military fans, right?
Yeah, I mean, not all outfits, but it is you know, it is trying to go into something that is a bit more military, a bit more tactical for some of them, a bit more like, okay, taking the fantasy of a specialization and pushing it to, okay, what would a person that uses that weapon, what would they wear? So for the sharpshooter, for example, you have this kind of like infiltration, you know, camo outfit, and then you can imagine for the other ones. So some of them are like very military, very militaristic, very tactical. Some others are a bit more out there, but it's yeah, it is going to be closer to, you know, the military style that some players have been asking. And then we have the other one.
The other one. Show me the baby. And the other one, yeah, of course, it's dedicated to spooky season lovers. The baby is not the only creepy mask that is going to be a part of it. There is going to be more, and as far as I remember, 5 outfits in total. And inspiration behind it, it's pretty obvious. Spooky season, yeah, certain holiday, a certain day in October, but that should be pretty obvious. So yeah, I actually love how this baby looks. It's very cute. It's pretty.
Yeah, if you're not into the baby face, I hope you'll be looking forward to that chest though, because that vest is also really cool. So yeah, it's darker, of course. That's gonna be a darker one, but there's gonna be stuff that's a bit yeah, a bit more on the spooky theme. But there's also some pieces individually that I think people will be very excited with. So again, some people will love the baby face, others will hate it. That's fine. Nobody's forcing you to wear that. But even without taking that into account, if you take that outfit, you remove the baby face. I think there's something pretty cool there as well. So hopefully something for everyone.
Yeah. And now I think we're ready to take a look at the questions. And thank you so much, our community team who are tirelessly working in the chat right now and submitting questions for us to see. So we'll just go through the list and
yeah. So yeah, people asking about specialization rework. Yes, you will see that it is not in our plan for year 4 at the moment. We are taking our time with the specialization rework because when it comes out, we want that to be a transformation. We want that to completely change the way you approach character building, the way we approach game. So we need to take the time to do that proper. It touches on so many aspects of the game. That there's a lot of things that we need to relearn on how they work because the team that built that is not here anymore. So we really don't want to release specializations and end up breaking every character build. So we're taking our time. We're taking our time to think about how does that, what place does that occupy in the end game, and how do we make it an interesting progression again, and taking a bit of the learnings from expertise as well there. So we'll take our time. So far, we've moved it out of our content plans because we don't want to push ourselves to ship something that is not satisfying because we committed to a date. So we are not going to commit to a date until we are 100% sure we can do something that is, the transformation that we're looking for.
Thank you for confirming that. I see that there are several questions about the new PvE mode Descent. We're specifically asking you not to submit any questions about it, but just looking through it.
It's quite granular, but it's rewards to take out of the mode. I don't know. We are not there yet. We are building the experience right now. We haven't discussed rewards and the specifics of what happened if you're delta during a session. Do you lose your progression? Same. These are things that we haven't defined yet. Obviously, we'll try to make it as smooth an experience as possible, So these are things. It's good questions because it's things to take into account. But it's I can't tell you right now how that's gonna work because we're still building the thing.
Yeah, it's a bit too early, but I think it would be a part of the PTS at some point, and of course we would love to hear your feedback once there is something that at least has a shape to show you and let you play through it. But I think this is a very good question about exotic components. Will they be needed to be extracted from the dark zone?
No, they go immediately in your resources pouch, so you don't need to extract them.
So
and
people
targeted loot in the DZ, I know that people have been asking for that. It's something we're investigating. We don't have a fix for it yet because we've been prioritizing other things. I know that's not what you want to hear, but that's the truth. Everything in a game is a question of priority. So it's on our list. And now that we're getting some other things out of the way with season 10 coming out, we're going to be looking at that. So hopefully we'll be able to fix that, but it hasn't happened yet.
Will we have more hardcore achievements?
Hardcore mode achievements, that's something we could do. We haven't planned that yet, but we do want to revisit hardcore at some point. I know that it's been a beta forever, and we have some ideas, some plans on how we can revisit it. So when that happens, achievements probably going to be on the list of things we want to add there, but I don't have any dates yet.
Can we have more legendary missions? We just announced.
I mean, we have to, but it makes sense, right? There is a new difficulty, and we would want to have that difficulty available everywhere. There's nothing that's blocking us from doing it, but I think the main question is more the need for difficulty in the game, and is legendary really the answer to that? Because we have made the players way more powerful with the expertise, and also making gear sets and boosting gear sets to a way that's they provide more power to the players than they used to. And that's fine, but of course that creates extra stress on the difficulty of the game. And we know that some players have already mastered difficulty and they can run legendary solo with their eyes closed. So it's also, of course we can do more legendaries, but there's also the question of how do we handle difficulty in a future-proof, sustainable way to make sure that there is always challenging content for everyone. That's something we need to answer, and I don't think legendary is necessarily the answer for that.
Thank you for answering that one. There is a question about the Countdown Hunters mask, especially the whale. I think that question has been around for some time now, since season 9 release, and it's probably a question for our art production team.
Yes.
But that is something that we have been discussing. And in the end of the stream, closer to the end, I will tell you something about that. Not about the Countdown Hunters, but
for you hunter lovers.
For hunters. That's going to be for hunter lovers. And the Delta fix, we know that this issue has been very pressing, and we're very sorry that some of you had to endure that and had a lot of troubles with the crashes. And it's actually something that we keep investigating and keep fixing. And with season 10 releasing tomorrow, there are going to be 10 new fixes that are supposed to help with the PC stability. And of course, that's not it, because there are some things that we have our suspicions about and still need to investigate. So potentially it does not stop with this 10 fixes. Of course, there is going to be more. There are going to be more improvements, and we'll be tracking the stability with every next title update installment.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is a needle in a haystack situation. We're trying to fix, or there's several needles. So every time we find one, we try to fix that one, and we know there's more, and we know we need to fix all of them. But it's always trying to look at what are the crashes reports we get. And when I talk about reports, there's player reports, but there's also the in-game tracking reports we get. So trying to group that, prioritize that based on what are the ones that we see the most, what are the ones that sometimes we may see one a lot, but actually can we identify the cause of it? Not always. So some of them are easier to fix than others. So of course, when we say we are fixing some of the causes of crashes, that might not fix it for you, but that fixes it for someone else. So every time we fix one, that's a few less crashes for some players, and that means it allows us to narrow down the conversation to other crashes. So even if it doesn't fix it for you, I'm sorry, but it's at least it's an improvement for all of us as a community.
Yeah, and of course we'll be tracking your feedback, and we'll be tracking game stats to see if this 10 fixes how drastically the improvement is. So keep us updated, keep us posted with your feedback. If you suspect that there is specifically something that may cause the specific crash for you, just let us know, and we'll definitely investigate it on our side, because we take this issue very seriously, and we as upset as you are about the stability on PC right now. Let's see what else we can take from the chat. I think the character slots, that's quite a popular one.
If we will get more character slots in the future, that's not something we're exploring at the moment. It all has to do with save size, and if we add more character slots, that means the save file of your account becomes bigger, and you multiply that by X amount of players we have, and the traffic it generates every time the server is asking for that save file and needs to get it, and then it's that's something we need to be very cautious with, because if we do it wrong, we could increase latency for everyone. So we need to be cautious with that. One thing where that could happen is when we're talking about hardcore, for sure. And I know that there's been a request for a very long time to have a special character slots for hardcore characters, and that's something that we may want to do when we visit a hardcore. But otherwise, we don't have plans to add more character slots for the normal game. And I would hazard to suspect that the main reason why people would want more character slots anyway is for storage, not because they want more character play styles, because you can do all of that on your main character. So the main problem here is storage, and that's a different problem.
And there is a question about year 5. I know that it has been confirmed this Saturday in Ubisoft Forward that we're committed and already started working on it. But at the moment, unfortunately, and you're not going to be happy about my answer, we are not ready to reveal more, because there is a lot of new great things coming, of course, and we want you to be excited about them, because I myself, I'm super excited, even though I'm trying to keep as spoiler-free as possible. Things that I overheard are very nice. And another question, that actually is something that I wanted to share with you right from the very beginning, but I'm grateful for whoever asked this one. Give us something to spend textiles on. And actually, there is going to be something throughout season 10. I do not know the date exactly. We're gonna release the yellow hunter outfit.
Stinger outfit, yeah.
That was previously and still available through the
referral program.
Yes, and it would be available for you to buy for textiles in the store. So yeah, you asked and we answered, because I know that was a very popular request before.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it is. It's been hanging there, and it's cool as a referral incentive, but it's a bit of a waste to have it there and be so desirable, and yet it's very hard for a lot of players to get enough referrals to actually get it. So it's we've decided to put it to make it available to everyone on the store and with textiles. So if you want it, you can go get it. If you're sitting on a lot of textiles, it's gonna be nothing for you anyway. So it's just a way to spend a bit of those textiles, but especially it's just a gesture to make sure that everybody can get the hunter outfit, the yellow hunter outfit.
Yeah, and the only thing that I would mention is just the referral program rewards will stay with the referral, but otherwise the outfit would be bought.
So you can still get it through the referral program if you want, but otherwise you can buy it in game.
And talking about outfits, there is actually another surprise for Season 10 that we prepared for you. It's called One Time Offer. And if we can show it on the screen here. So yeah, basically it's on the topic of premium credits, right? So you can just, if you want to refresh your apparel, your garderobe, your wardrobe, then this offer is for you, because you can get 2,000 premium credits and plus 1,000 for free, and also this outfit that you can just see on your screen right now. And also cannot announce the date right now, just because I do not remember exactly, but it's coming with Season 10, so be on the lookout. And if you like this outfit, because I think it's very military style, then this offer is for you. And
to those of you out there, I'm sure that are in chat that are like, oh, MTX stuff, we don't care about that. This is what helps us keep supporting the game. So it might not be for you, that's fine, but it's important for us to talk about it.
And yeah, you can purchase outfits, emotes, right, with the premium credits, like weapon skins and a lot of cool things. And I think that's pretty much it that I actually wanted to show you today. I hope you're excited about Season 10 Price of Power as much as we are. Just a quick reminder, releasing tomorrow, September 13th, on all platforms. Of course, there are going to be maintenance, and we will post an announcement later tonight. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff. And actually one last thing that I wanted to say, like, I do not really know if I'm supposed to, but I'm still gonna do that, just because I want you guys to be excited.
Check
So
my face again.
yeah. he knows, that's fine, I asked him. So the climax mission for Season 10,
That thing.
yeah, it's gonna be a very nice and big surprise for you. The mission where it's gonna take place. But I'm not.
Kenley College.
Yes, it's not Kinley College. But I'm not gonna say anything else, because then Morten will be upset with me. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the stream. We try to keep it as brief as possible. Let us know, because we cherish your feedback and we want to deliver content in a way that is suitable for you and enjoyable for you. So we'll be happy to hear what you think. And thank you so much for joining us today. Do not forget, Season 10 Price of Power releasing tomorrow on all platforms. So thank you so much, and see you next time.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Cheers.
Hey, Agent. Unless you need a powder shower, might want to move your ass.
You were right. Lewis may be a problem.
I'm glad you agree, General. Watch him.
And see what he does next.
Who better to lead you to the rat's nest than a rat?
Radiation levels detected. Detonation imminent. Warning. Full lockdown initiating. Proceed with caution. Eliminate security breach. Chemical reactor unstable. EMP detonation imminent. Warning. 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 Please proceed to the station.